With the recent weapon balancing patches, as well as the patch that fixed the broken PPSH, a lot of people have been asking me what is the close range meta after the update. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. I'm going to give different recommendations depending on playstyle, whether you have a preference towards modern warfare or Vanguard weapons. We can go ahead and kind of dive in beyond just the TTK. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're brand new and want to find your way back, subscribe with notifications on. So we'll start off with some of the different TTKs. These little yellow highlights are where the damage profile changes that impacts the TTK. And I didn't grab the fastest or the slowest TTKs. I tried to grab the most common TTK that you would practically get in this area. Because even in this particular case, you got to land a few neck shots, a headshot, and then you can get a faster TTK for the Type 100. But in practicality, more often than not, you're going to get this 472 TTK, which is incredibly fast and continues on well beyond even after the damage drop-offs because of the way the damage profile works. But it can be a little bit harder to use for certain players. And that's kind of where you got to factor in your own individual skill level, ease of use. And are you strictly playing the Vanguard modes? Or are you playing Rebirth or Standard Battle Royale or Plunder or Clash? You know, you have a lot of different options to play. And depending on your play style, maybe you're an aggressive player, you push rooms. Maybe you're a little more passive, you hold angles. So you're going to kind of figure out how you're going to mesh these weapons. This video does have a sponsored segment, which we'll do right now. Today's video is brought to you by Keeps, a subscription service that helps men keep their hair. They offer clinically proven treatments to combat the symptoms of hair loss. Treatments are delivered straight to the customer's doors and plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. All treatment plans are personalized and doctor recommended, and every treatment plan comes with a year of unlimited doctor messaging. Most Keeps customers notice results within 6 months of starting treatment. So whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of your hair you already have, Keeps has you covered. And this impacts a lot more people than you would think. 2 out of every 3 guys will experience hair loss by the time they're 35. In addition to the clinically proven treatments, Keeps has an award-winning all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system. And Keeps physicians will help you select the right products and treatment for your specific condition and hair goals. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/JGOD or click the link in the description. That's KEEPS.com/JGOD. Thank you to Keeps for sponsoring today's video. Welcome back. The JAK-12 is probably all around best shotgun. It is a little bit slow, and I don't tend to talk about shotguns too much because they can tend to be broken, but you can kind of see right here up to about 3-ish meters, then it becomes kind of an average. You'd be better off using most of the SMGs on this list. We got the Type 100, which has pretty broken TTK, much harder to use because it has that visual kick, and we'll talk about that when we get into the class setup. We have the Vanguard PPSH, which still has a pretty broken TTK, and this is more of the hipfire build because you're maxing out that fire rate with the Nambu rounds. Even though the other setup might be a little bit more practical in more situations, this is the one that's going to give you just the optimum fun mess around class. So even though it has this crazy fast TTK, sometimes if you push, you could get into trouble. Welgun comes up here pretty good. So we're kind of looking just most of the close range. Modern Warfare AUG still performs phenomenally. It's just super slow. Too bad they never went back in and patched most of the Modern Warfare weapons to give them a little bit better mobility. But you can see up to about 10 meters, you're getting this really good TTK. We're going to focus on the 10 meters plus in a quick second because a lot of these have damage drop-offs. You can see the yellow right around 11-ish meters, and then we get a little bit further off where we're looking at, ooh, man, this gun might way perform versus another. OTS, still a very good gun, but as soon as you get outside of its first damage, not so much of a good gun. Cold War MP5 is still very good. It gets a little bit extra meters on this first part. MP40 still very good option, but as soon as you get right outside of that first damage range, they make it so it doesn't kill that fast. So it's not really all that great of a gun because of the number of shots to kill. We got the Owen gun, which is very good up to range. It can be a little inconsistent, a little bit harder for unforgiving because of the slower fire rate. Then we got the LAPA, which has kind of been gassed up a lot recently. It's just kind of all around good. It was kind of like the OTS before the OTS got nerfed. OTS was meta. LAPA is kind of meta for that particular reason. CX9, a lot of people say, hey, you're sleeping on that. It's a good gun. It's kind of slow. I'd almost rather just use the MW AUG even though the CX9 does have a fast fire rate. It's kind of more situational because the mag isn't that great compared to the damage per mag you can get on the Modern Warfare AUG, but still a great option in terms of TTK and range. It's going to be a little bit more versatile than some of the ones on this list. It's just going to be a little bit slow, and that's where it comes down to play style. Mac 10, still pretty good, but you're almost always better off just using something else like the Cold War PPSH. You can see this is a 7 millisecond difference between TTKs here, and that's nothing basically. And you get more range, better TTKs out of the PPSH, better mag, all that good stuff. You might as well go with the Cold War PPSH over the Mac 10. I just thought I would include it. And you can see right here where they rank in terms of TTK. So now if we go ahead and sort this at the 12 meter mark, you can see some considerable changes in this order. The Type 100 still going to be good. The Welgun performs a little bit better, and I'm surprised not more people are giving that one a go. They're still kind of sticking with the MP40, but overall the Welgun will perform better because of those TTKs, because it's not incredibly hard to use, especially when you're building it for either recoil control or mobility. You just kind of balance it out based on your skill level. Modern Warfare AUG appears again. Owen gun, that's kind of where the Owen gun shines. So if you're not barrel stuffing, Owen gun is going to be a little bit more versatile because it has that mid range, long range almost, up until you get to your actual ranged options. CX9 again, Mac 10, Cold War PPSH, LAPA kind of falls off. Vanguard PPSH, not so good, especially since that one you can't even really aim down sight. Cold War MP5, not as good. OTS, Jack 12, and then MP40 kind of starts to do really bad at that part of the list. So now we've done the same thing with the furthest damage drop off, and there's a slight shuffle. Type 100 still ends up being that one because the barrel we're going to use adds significant range, fire rate, all these different things. Hollow point kind of counters that a little bit, and then you have the different things going on that make this thing still a little bit hard to use, but the TTK is crazy. Welgun, CX9, we're not sleeping on it. It's just, it doesn't really get good until you're in this spot compared to a lot of the other SMGs, but the mobility kind of holds it back. Cold War PPSH, that's why it's more of a sniper support. Owen gun kind of fits in there. It's a little slow fire rate, but still performs good. Vanguard PPSH, a little hard to control the recoil at that. Mac 10 Cold War, and you can kind of see how that goes. So here's the meta. Jack 12, pretty much built for hip fire. If you want an ADS, you can go ahead and go with the tac laser and the 20 round mag, just because it's a little bit more versatile. The other one's a little bit too slow, and the Dragon's Breath rounds, not necessarily practical in Warzone. And then you have the slug rounds, which are more a little gimmicky. Definitely you need to know how to use them if you're going to be using those ones. MP40 still pretty much the same build. We got recoil booster, Krosnick, slate reflector, the folding, steady, quick, leather grip. But there's other options you can go. This one's just more for an ADS build. Hand stop for a little bit of recoil, hollow point, and still with the Gorenko rounds. OTS is the same. GRU, Task Force, Skeletal, Serpent Rep for better ADS, and then the 40 round fast mag. LAPA has atrocious iron sight, so we rock an agency suppressor. Rifled is the better barrel. We use a Microflex LED, Raider stock, and then the 50 round mag. So it's my ADS build, close range AUG SMG with rifle rounds. We got the monolithic suppressor, tac laser, forged tac, CQB comb. I finally said that right. Stippled grip, and then the 60 round NATO. And there are other builds if you want to go ahead and go with the 30 rounds, sleight of hand. You just have to sacrifice another attachment. This is kind of like 2-in-1. More ammo. It's just going to be a little bit slower. Cold War MP5, we got agency, no barrel because we want the clean iron sights. Tiger Team Spotlight, Raider stock, 50 round drum, and then the bruiser. You could actually get rid of this particular attachment for the laser and then actually get better aim down sight with the Serpent Rep. Again, a matter of preference. There's tons of Mac 10 builds, but like I said, you're better off with the PPSH. So this is a standard Mac 10 build. Agency suppressor, Task Force, Tiger Team Spotlight, Raider stock, and 53 round drum mag. So this is a Vanguard PPSH hipfire build. We got recoil booster, the Kavalskaya 230 rapid barrel, slate reflector. You could use another optic if you want to go ahead and just have that. The skeletal stock or remove stock because of the hipfire benefit. And then we got tight grip, quick fabric grip. The Nambu will give you the ultimate fast TTK, but the Gorenko is a little bit more versatile, at least in my opinion, because of the bullet velocity and range. But if you're only sticking to hipfire, Nambu is a good way to go with hollow point and then Carver for the hipfire as well as the overall recoil control. The Owen gun with recoil booster, the Hawkinson Rapid with the 60 round drum for the curves. And those are like the 3-man attachments with hollow point. And you can kind of mix around the others. We got hand stop, polymer, steady, quick, remove stock, and then the little trick with the optic here. A lot of people ask, well, what's the trick? What's the trick? Pretty much you just use this optic and you never use the 2.5x. You only use the little slate reflector that it comes with, and you aim down sight and you toggle it to the other one that is for close range. It'll lower the gun and you get a different vantage point other than looking at the gun blocking most of your screen. The Cold War PPSH, we got the Guru Suppressor Task Force Microflex LED along with the Raider stock and the 71 round drum. Keep in mind there's a lot of weapons that I'm not including on here. Probably could have included the Milano. That's kind of a fun weapon. There's a lot of different weapons to choose from. The Bullfrog, the LC-10 is kind of very low. Nail gun is very niche. I mean, we got Tech 9, which can be good with a certain barrel, but you know, keep in mind that there are guns that just aren't going to get included on this list. Here's the CX9, kind of an ugly gun, but we're using the CX23S barrel because it's one of the only ones that doesn't hurt the movement here. It does hurt bullet velocity a little bit, but we're keeping this primarily close range. Tac laser will help a little bit of the recoil and aim down sight speed. I got the GI Mini Reflex, the CXFR, which is kind of like a no stock attachment or collapsible stock. We're getting better movement speed because we got to go ahead and kind of keep up with some of these other guns. Then we got the 50 round drum for obvious reasons. This thing burns through bullets pretty quickly, so you kind of just got to keep that in mind. That brings us to the Welgun. We got recoil booster, the shrouded barrel with the .45 48 round mags, hollow point hand stop, leather grip, acrobat quick, remove stock, and slate reflector. Like we talked about, this was a little bit harder to use, but you kind of balance it out. It's TTK's there if you can land your shots. Obviously that is always the trade-off. It kills fast, but a little bit harder than used than maybe the MP40. And here's the Type 100 with that crazy TTK. It's primarily built for hipfire, but you can still aim down sight with it. A little bit harder to use, obviously, because it has that ultra fast fire rate, a little bit faster TTK, and a smaller mag, so you have to be able to hit those shots. We got the recoil booster, the Warubachi Rapid, we got the slate reflector, Sakura Type 2, Gung Ho for instantaneous, pretty much sprint to fire, quick Pine Tar, 48 round drum, hollow point, and the Carver. Hopefully it sets you up so you can kind of build what makes the most sense for you. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.